Good afternoon. Before I begin, let me thank Dr. Bishatkar, who has given this great opportunity to me. This is the second time I'll be sharing some of my work with them. And also to PIC and the audience here who has stayed here late afternoon. I represent Excellence in Bioinnovations and Technologies, acronymed XBITS, which looks at biotechnology-based solutions or biology-based solutions for healthcare. This is also an example of high-tech solutions made available to the rural population and remote to hard-to-reach populations. So today I'm going to talk about our first product called Biotech, which is reliable, robust and rapid as tested in Indian hospitals. As we go along, I'll tell you where all we have tested this. India has over years earned the bad reputation of having given birth to the most notorious bacteria, the New Delhi strain, which is resistant to all the antibiotics available today to us. The situation of antimicrobial resistance is same all over the world. It's not just India. Antimicrobial resistance has been consistently rising over the last 1 decade, whether it is developed countries or developing countries. In fact, 10 million prescriptions for antibiotics are being dished out unnecessarily in Britain alone, which is apparently a much better educated society than my own country. Antibiotic resistance has been touted as a threat to mankind bigger than terrorism. Why? Because misuse of antibiotics leads to development of more and more resistant bacteria, which tells us that we may not be able to even save people from treatable diseases in years to come. Great Britain has actually taken regulatory action on doctors who go soft with prescribing antibiotics and crack down on use of antibiotics. Not only that, there has been a century's most important longitude prize being reinitiated by Nesta and UK government called Longitude Prize, wherein there were 6 themes which were floated to the public, and resistant to antibiotics was voted by all. WHO has called and warns for all of us towards post-antibiotic era, where they say key drugs will no longer work on people and we will not be able to see. For anybody else who wants to see, this is the website for Longitudinal Prize. The situation is same in USA. A report was submitted in 2014 to President Obama, which says that if an inexpensive rapid diagnostics test is developed, which is usable in outpatient settings to provide an accurate and timely information about the bacteria and its resistance profile, it will go a long way towards responsible antibiotic stewardship. Our journey started with the research grant given to us by DRDO, which has led us to this development of this product. The core concept of this product is that we can conduct a culture and sensitivity test on a tabletop, not in a clinical diagnostic lab, in 4 hours as opposed to 72 hours. And we can identify the antibiogram for that bacteria, identifying both the sensitivity profile and the resistance profile in that biological specimen. We have filed patents for the instrument that reads and also for the process that is responsible for these tests. This test has been validated in 2 major locations at Medicity Institute of Medical Sciences in Hyderabad and at All India Institute of Medical Sciences under the aegis of ICMR in Delhi. The test was compared to the gold test for culture and sensitivity as it is used in the hospitals today. And out of the 400 odd samples, 426 samples that were tested, we found a sensitivity of 96%, specificity of 100%, false positives of less than 0.02%. There were no false negatives reported. Where are we standing today? We were supported by DBT under a Sparsh grant, and with that support, we have now converted our lab prototype to a market-ready design. We have selected an ODM, which is CE certified and ISO certified, to make our hardware. And this hardware has already been deployed in the field in Hyderabad, back again at Medicity Institute of Medical Sciences, for verifying that our lab prototype has been replicated faithfully. We are poised to increase this number to at least 20 installations in multiple cities in the country, and that's the quantum jump that we want to make within this year, which is by the last quarter of 2015. We aim that by the end of next year or middle of next year, there will be about 50 installations across the world doing 1,000 tests per year so that we can validate it in a larger span across the country. One of the diseases which we see very often in India is urinary tract infection. Indeed, 10 lakh people suffer from UTI on a daily basis in India. We have heard enough about sanitation earlier. Poor sanitation is one of the causes of recurrent UTI. Women, incidentally, are more prone to UTI, 6 times more prone than men. Older men are also more prone to urinary tract infections. So you can understand where the misuse of antibiotics can come from. If the culture and sensitivity test takes 72 hours, then the doctor has no choice but to make an empirical prescription. And an empirical prescription which is not suitable for the pathogen that is infecting the patient would only lead to increased antimicrobial resistance. We need to enter largely to cater the large addressable market within India itself. I'm not even talking about other developing countries. India has over 5 lakh PHCs, has 1.5 lakh practicing doctors, has 1 lakh diagnostic labs, and has over 1 lakh maternity centers. Pregnant women are also highly prone to urinary tract infection. So if we address and total this up, this itself becomes almost 85 crore tests per year in my own country. If I address only 1% of this market at a cost of 350 rupees per test, I become viable in less than 5 years. I may compare the cost with what is being done today. The manual test, which is dependent on the whims of the technician who is doing it, can cost up to 300 rupees anywhere in the country. The automated tests, which are done with the imported machinery, which comes at a cost of 29 to 39 lakhs, are done at 1200 rupees. And they all take either 24 hours or 72 hours. The equipment that we have designed will be less than 1 lakh rupees, and the test takes less than 4 hours. The equipment has been recognized, and the team has been recognized for their work by Association of Biotech-led Enterprise and by Gandhi and Young Technology Award, which was bestowed on them by the National Innovation Foundation. The equipment looks like this. I have the picture of the prototype on the screen there. We call it Right Biotech because we feel the doctor will be able to prescribe on the basis of evidence the first antibiotic which is right for the infection, which reduces the duration of treatment, reduces the cost of treatment, and reduces the incidence of growing antimicrobial resistance. We will be able to save the antibiotics for use by future generations if we can change the way we use the available antibiotics. I would just like to close with one last sentence, that in last 20 years, there has been no new antibiotic that has been developed. So we need to save the ones that are available with us. Thank you very much.